heard my own voice. The incident happened about a year ago. Back then, I used to live alone. Let me introduce myself. My name is Nishi. I lived in a mess, shared accommodation. I had just gotten a clerical job, so I thought of leaving the mess and moving into a rented house. But even after searching a lot, I couldn't find any house within my budget. I was getting quite worried. Days passed like this. One evening, while returning from the office, I was too tired to push through the crowd on the main road, so I decided to take the shortcut through the bamboo grove. That path is much closer to my mess. With my exhausted body, I kept walking slowly. It was around 5:45 p.m. Since it was winter, darkness had already started to fall. There were barely any streetlights on that side. I started feeling uneasy. Clutching my sweater and bag tightly, I hurried my steps. Just a little further, and there was a streetlight at the corner. While walking, I glanced back at the bamboo grove. My heart skipped a beat. It felt like the darkness of the grove was trying to swallow me. I didn't look back again. As soon as I reached under the lamp post, I let out a sigh of relief. I'll never take this road again, I thought. Just then, when I turned back, I noticed a house. It was quite big. The walls were covered with creeping vines, but from the outside, it looked beautiful. When I looked at the gate, I saw a to let sign. The gate wasn't even locked. It felt like a blessing out of nowhere. But suddenly, my excitement faded. A beautiful house beside a bamboo grove. Should I really rent this? The area was isolated. Houses were far apart, empty land all around, and the rent must be high. I couldn't afford it. While I was thinking, suddenly someone spoke. "What do you want here?" I turned around in shock. An old man was standing near the gate. I somehow gathered myself and said, "My name is Nishi. I was looking for a house to rent. I saw the to let sign, so I thought I'd ask, though I guess the rent will be too high." I hesitated. I knew I couldn't afford such a big house, but still I asked. The old man smiled, showing his broken teeth. "Hee, you want to rent this place? That's good. Come inside, let's talk." I looked around once and said, "I only have a clerical job. I don't think I can afford this place." He replied, "Don't worry. The owner is very kind. She doesn't live here, so she wants to rent it out. The rent is only 5,000 per month." I was stunned. So cheap. Was he joking? Even a single room costs more these days. And here, no advance payment either. How is that possible? When I asked that, he told me not to overthink. I decided to move in that very Sunday. And I did. It had been 2 days since I moved in. The house, though old, looked beautiful from outside. But inside, it was the complete opposite. Walls were peeling, spider webs everywhere, faded paint. One of the bathroom taps didn't even work. When I pointed these out, the old man suddenly spoke harshly. "You're getting all this for such low rent. What more do you want?" I was shocked Yesterday, he was so kind. Why this behavior now? And where was he going at night? When I asked, he said, he doesn't stay here at night. He works during the day and leaves before 10 p.m. I didn't know what to say. How could I stay alone in such a big house? My body felt uneasy, but I had no choice. The first few days were normal, except at night. I felt like someone was lying beside me, chanting God's name. I somehow got through those nights. But the real problem started on the fourth night. That night, I suddenly woke up because I heard someone calling my name. Nishi, Nishi, Nishi. I opened my eyes. The room was dark. No one was there. I thought it must be a dream. I tried to sleep again. Then again. Nishi, Nashi. This time, the voice was right beside my ear. I jumped up. My throat went dry. My hands were trembling. But I was alone. The next morning, I convinced myself it must be hallucination. But the real horror began the next day. I was in the bathroom. Water was filling from the working tap. I had just taken off my clothes when suddenly I felt someone touch my body. I froze, quickly covering myself with a towel. I looked around. No one. Terrified, I poured water over myself quickly and ran back to my room. I was shaking the whole day. That night, I was on a call with a friend from my mess. Suddenly, she said, "Hey, who are you talking to?" I was confused. "What do you mean? I'm only talking to you." She replied, "No, it sounds like someone behind you is repeating everything you say." My body went cold because I was alone. Slowly, I turned back. No one. Then I put the phone on speaker, and that's when I heard it. My own voice, repeating everything I said, with a slight delay, exactly like me. I looked at the mirror in front of me, and behind me, there was a shadow, hair covering the face, smiling with white teeth. It was a woman's spirit. I turned back. No one. Looked in the mirror again. There she was, smiling. I didn't look anywhere else. I tried to run out of the room. Suddenly, doors started slamming open and shut. Lights flickered on and off. My friend kept shouting hello, hello, on the phone. But I couldn't think anymore. Somehow, that very night, I left the house. But before leaving, I looked back one last time, and what I saw, I can never forget. Inside the room, a girl who looked exactly like me, standing there, smiling at me, slowly saying, "Why did you leave?" "I just wanted to stay with you." This time, I saw her full form, not in the mirror, right in front of me, speaking in my voice. The next day, I returned with my friend to confront the old caretaker. We wanted answers. What did all this mean? What he said sent chills down our spines. He told us the owner and his wife had only one daughter. They loved her deeply, but as she grew older, something about her seemed different. They started having conflicts. She liked girls, not boys. She had a female partner, She loved her. When she revealed this, a huge fight broke out. That very night, unable to bear it, she took her own life. After that, the owners left for another country. They handed the house over to the caretaker. Since then, her spirit doesn't let any men stay in the house, so no tenant stays for long. You came on your own, so I didn't tell you anything, he said. I thought she wouldn't harm a woman, but I was wrong. Forgive me. Since that day, I can never sleep alone, because sometimes, even now, I hear my own voice, but it's not mine. Smiling face with horns,